agree with this?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right.
All right, do we have any guests or visitors here?
It was really good. I listened to it on Libby.
I love Okay, approval of the minutes. Last meeting,
Mr. Chair, I move the district committee votes to approve the meeting minutes of the regular meeting of November 5th, 2025 as presented.
do you have a second? Second. Discussion, any errors, omissions, anything? Hearing none. Judy, we call the vote, please?
One not on.
I'm an aye, I haven't looked on yet.
Same here.
Where am I? We're getting a pad?
Yeah.
Board minutes.
Motion unanimous, sir.
All right. Superintendent's report, Mr. Brown?
Okay. Don, if you get me started here?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're good. All right. Short, but hopefully I'll try to go through a quick presentation. We have our friends from Continuing Ed who are going to be presenting, so we have an additional presentation, so try to go through quickly. Quickly, we did send out, or I did send out an email before the holiday letting everybody know about the budget pause. Just wanted to kind of talk about it very quickly. Tammy had been keeping an eye on the budget for a while. She did she came to me and said, Tom, I have a little bit of concern. We're spending ahead of where we were last year. You can see, last year in November 2024, we had 3.7 million, 11% still unencumbered. This year we're already down to 2.8 million. With only 8.28% unencumbered. So we decided, listen, let's get a look. I mean, there's nothing that people are in incredible want for. Now's a good time during the holiday because we knew we had some time. Kind of just do a quick pause and everything else. Some of the things that caused that increase of the fact that we've encumbered so much money, more money this year, I should say, is we did have to worry about the encumbrance for the health insurance increase. Just in general, it seems that the shops are spending earlier and quicker this year, so that's kind of what the second bullet is there. And then we did move over the OPEB money that we usually kind of do at later in the year, so we kind of moved it over. So we can point and see where some of the things have come, but this just gave an opportunity for us to say, okay, we're not having nonstop spending. Tammy can take a second and say, okay, I'm going to go through all the vocational shops, see where they are in terms of their individual budgets, the academic departments and so forth. So the key thing is, it's not a shutdown or anything like that. We're not there. The last little piece that we wanted to make sure everybody knew, first of all, if somebody comes in and says, hey, piece of equipment X, broken shop, we really need piece of equipment X, we will take a look at that and we'll address that. So if it's unexpected or something like that, they can still access their revolving accounts. That has nothing to do with the FY26 budget. Grant money, they can still access that and everything else. So again, this is just a temporary pause. We're thinking a couple more weeks, and then we'll get everything going and see if we'll be good to go. So anything I missed there, Tam?
No.
All right. Let's see. Competency determination, a lot of people might have seen in the news earlier this week. The state on December 1st did release the results of their traveling committee, whatever you want to call them, that went around and kind of had some conversations about what do people want to have as the competency determination. Where they ended up falling is exactly where we thought they were going to do. If you recall, in October, we did pass, here after going through policy committee, we did pass a competency determination policy that spoke to things like that there's certain courses that we're going to expect our kids to be able to pass, There are certain demonstration of mastery, which could be an end of a course assessment. It could be a portfolio. I remember during the meeting, Mr. Campbell really spoke to the importance of having portfolios and other opportunities for students who might struggle with a one-time test kind of thing. So they would have options. We built that all into the policy, so we have that submitted. Technically, didn't need to be submitted till the end of this month, but we already have that ready to go. So we're looking pretty good. I also want to make sure you guys knew that for the past 3 years in our district improvement plan, one of our focus was for all our academic departments to create common assessments, common quarterly assessments even, not just end of the course, but common quarterly assessments. So we've been doing this. This is not anything new to us if this is the pathway that we end up going. So we should be looking pretty good for that piece of the competency. You can see at the bottom there are a few other things they talked about. What the state is talking about is Mass Core. That's the state's belief of what courses students should be taking, specifically to move on to higher education, but that's going to be a big guiding element of what they do down the road. They also were looking for people to come up with either academic or vocational plans, developing financial literacy skills. There's other things that's going to be involved in their plan. The part that I want to make sure that everybody understands, I'm just going to go this slide really quick and basically summarize it in the last bullet. A couple weeks ago, I was at the Worcester County Superintendent's Association meeting. Secretary Tutwiler was talking, a lot of conversations about the competency determination, and he himself said, guys, there's plenty of time on this. This is not a panic. This is not a rush. Right now, they have this plan for the demonstrations of mastery. They haven't picked the courses. They're going to take the next 6 months to identify what courses they're going to have end-of-course exams. So we have all the way till the end of this year. Then in the fall, they have to start writing up the actual tests and making the tests and developing the rules for the portfolio. That gets the legislator involved because they have to pass budgeting that's going to pay for all these tests. We are not looking at this going into place till 27, 28. There is plenty of time for this. We've done what we need to do, but this is going to take a while, I guess, is what Secretary Tutwiler would say. Yes, sir.
If you don't mind, just on that, maybe a simpler question or response. So the state voted to get rid of a single test. Department of Ed has now said, let's go determine several tests to replace it that we're going to go fund through the state to put in to do the same thing, but instead of one, we'll have more than one?
Yes.
Okay.
But what they will say, what their difference is that MCAS was a high-stake test. It was one test.
Yeah.
You had to pass it, or you didn't graduate.
So now you have 7, but you can pass 5 of 7 or something.
Yeah, correct. There's flexibility in terms of what you pass because some of those things that were on the bottom of the slide that I had, you can do those to also address the pathway as well. So yes, and I'm also sure that somebody who was a big leader in the movement to get rid of MCAS is going to probably sue the state anyhow, saying this is a repeat of what it is. So this is going to take forever. All right, for AI policy, very quickly, we've been working on development of the AI policy. Donnie, myself, Ali Trundy, who's our ed tech instructor. We did participate in some professional development to really develop and work towards developing a policy. One of the things that I should make sure that everybody understands is, even right now, so the state did put out guidance for AI. So the funny thing, and I think I showed this to John when he came over for the school committee prep meetings that we have. They did write a long document, dozens of pages on AI, but they summarized it in a nice colorful little charts and everything else. And the funny thing is every administrator who sees this says, I think they used AI to make this. So that's what I think is the irony. I would hope so. But anyhow, again, similar to the CD thing, when it comes to AI, the state, like I said, they still have not done a policy themselves. The only thing that they've released here is guidance. And what people are really getting the sense of is this is not about developing a full-blown policy yet. Right now, it's about developing classroom guidance, instructions, limitations for each school to decide how are we going to do it at the ground roots level? How are teachers going to deal with this and everything else? So one of the things we did is we did do a policy of the staff to say, how are we using AI? How many people are using AI? What are they using it for? And I'm going to just quickly gun through all these. But basically, in general, 80% of the staff was saying at some time they've used AI, but you can see there's only about a third of the people who say they use it weekly. What are they using it for? Happily, the second one, the middle group there, I personally, the conversations I had with Ali, Trundy, and everything else, I don't want teachers using AI for grading. Frankly, I just think there's concerns with that. Ali said she actually used an AI platform to check that out and see. She said it was actually more work to have AI do it because then she has to go back and check and make sure AI has done what she wants it to do. So it's actually kind of double the work. But I'm okay that they're not using AI for grading. They are using it for lesson plans and materials, which is great. I mean, it's obviously that's a good use of AI right there. And of all the ones that we had in terms of doing student assignments. So if you're reading Tuesdays with Maury, which is one of the books our students do, the teacher just says, give me 6 questions on chapter 5 from Tuesdays with Maury. It gives it to you. That's the kind of very easy student assignment thing that they could do AI. That's why I'm not surprised. That's why most have used it at some time. Communication, they want to send out a quick newsletter to parents about something they're doing in class. Again, a good use of AI, 49% have used it for that. And data analysis, I don't know if individual teachers are ready to do that. I guess I'm not surprised that even of the small numbers there are, that 83.3% were quarterly. My guess is that some at the end of Q1 used AI to take a look at their grading data. But I don't see that necessarily. But clearly their teachers are using it. We need to develop practices. My slides get backwards. Oh, some of the things real quickly. The key elements that they want to make sure that we do have is that whatever we do is safe for the students. We have to make sure that personal information is kept out of the use of AI and not an issue. Empowering teachers, not just letting them know, hey guys, you don't have to hide the fact that you're using AI to do your worksheets. Be upfront, be honest about it, tell the students when you're using it and everything else, and we want to work for you. The part of teacher empowerment that's the concern is a lot of teachers they're cheating. I've told you this last time we talked about this. We're not going to know when they're cheating. The AI is too good at this point right now. So move on from that. Just move on from that. Yeah, sure.
So it's less about this policy, but as we're looking at policies, we're going to have to step back and look at our technology policies and how we support things.
Yep.
The issues we've had in the past, or just in the industry in general, the threat actors are really amping up their games, and they're using AI to automate their attacks now.
Yes.
So whatever we may have seen in the past, we're have to see more of it. We may have to change what we're investing in.
Tell him.
So, well,
No,
at the end of the day, they'll come to you looking for money too. so.
Donnie, like I said, Donnie and Ali and I, we've been all having these conversations and everything else. So we do know that piece about student safety, certainly having transparency and accountability. So those are some of the elements that we're working towards. We have a couple examples. We did get one from another school district that has been shared for a lot of people. We're taking a look at that. We used the language from one of the trainings that we went to really build up on something. And then the last one is actually Stoneham, Chandler, and Miller, our council. They had an AI policy that we're taking a look at. So we have pieces that we can put together. Like I said, we'll be bringing that forth so everybody can see it as we move along. Quick topic, kind of random, but we want to make sure that you're aware of it. For a while, admin team, we've been talking about a concern, and that concern is the money that we're spending on late buses. So obviously that's been a piece of what's been happening at Monty Tech for a while. Support students in terms of athletics, clubs, extra help, and everything else. The problem is this. So this table represents, we usually had 2 bus runs, a 4:15 and a 6 o'clock. And we did those on each day and everything else. The 4:15 bus run that's up here now, that's the number of kids that rode those buses on those particular days. So just using the top one on September 15th, 6 kids took the north bus, 5 took the south bus, 6 took the east bus, 4 took the west bus. Those buses are not our buses. We hire and pay McCarthy Bus to run those routes. So it's their drivers, their buses. Thus, it is a very expensive piece. It's $350 per bus per day. So basically, you're looking at $1,300 a day that we're spending on buses for that number of kids to get on, where if you go down to the bottom here, you can see on average, that bus is pulling with 5.3 kids, 5.3, 4.8, 4.6. We've spent, up until, this is about mid-November that we did this, we had spent $23,000, and you can see we're not driving a whole lot of kids while doing this. The 6 o'clock late buses are much cheaper. The 6 o'clock, so we have some drivers who drive for our day program, not our drivers, ones who work for other bus companies, but then they come back for the 6 o'clock bus and they're working for us and they're driving our buses. So literally the 6 o'clock bus is only, I think it's $1,240 or something like that for the week. It's much, 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 much cheaper. So what we've been bouncing around is, do we literally kind of maybe do we say, there is no 4:15 bus, there's a 6 o'clock bus, and kids have to wait. The concern about that is obviously kids wandering the building and everything else. Do we consider, I hate to throw it out there, I know we've been very fortunate to say we haven't had athletic fees, we haven't had activity fees or anything like that. Do we need to start taking a look at that? So again, right now, the only thing we've done is we've reduced the number of 4:15 buses to 2 days. The 2 days are Monday and Thursday. So that's the only piece that we've actually changed right now. But I want to get on your radar that we're looking at this, and the reason why we're looking at this, because I don't know if it's sustainable, I guess is what it comes down to, the money that we're spending on this. So, yes, sir.
Have we lowered, the cars need not pay them those days we're not using them?
I would,
What is
that's,
the contract? Are we paying?
that's a good, I didn't ask Mike, if the driver shows up and we don't have a run because no kid, we still pay.
And now on Tuesdays, so we're only running on Tuesdays and Thursdays now?
Mondays and Thursdays.
I'm sorry, Mondays and
Yeah.
Thursdays.
So we just pay for those days we're operating, but if no kids
We
are
still pay.
for that run, we still have to pay.
Yeah.
It's a bus.
So Uber's cheaper.
Maybe.
Fair point. Yes, sir.
A question on, you got 4 o'clock, then you got 6 o'clock. Is the 4 o'clock for like detention kids versus sports kids that leave at 6 o'clock? What's the
So
variation?
6 is definitely the sports, mostly for sports. The 4:15 is the kid who stayed after to make up a test, stayed after for extra help. It's more of those kids.
Some clubs and activities.
Clubs and
also
activities,
have
yeah, some of the clubs and activities will finish up their meetings before 4:15.
What can they get involved in that one? Is they go 6 and go on one bus?
We could be looking at that. The problem then though is who's overseeing these kids between 4:15 and 6 when we're waiting and they're
Cheaper
one.
to hire a monitor,
That's-
and all the buses you're paying?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
That's absolutely something that we have to consider. Yeah,
I would say so.
yes.
Mrs. Boswell, is that a question?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's exactly what I was gonna ask about. Is it a monitor from that 4:15 to 6 o'clock to kind of keep an eye on the kids?
Yeah, and that's something we're looking at. To be honest, the thing that's, I would say is holding us back the most, in terms of the 4 o'clock buses, we're worried that kids are just gonna say, I don't wanna stay here till 6 o'clock, so I'm not gonna go to extra help. And that's not the mentality that we wanna be sending. Or, you know what, I really like chorus, but if I'm not getting home till 6:30, 7 o'clock, then I don't wanna do chorus. Well, we don't have chorus, but, drama, so, kind of thing. So, again, no firm decision yet, but that's just kinda out there. Sorry.
That's okay. How has it been working so far with the limited schedules before?
I'll yield to Diana on that one.
It's been okay. I mean, kids have come and asked for additional days. And I think the other thing that we look at is it out of convenience for the families? Is it that students would absolutely not be able to stay? I also feel that often by 6 o'clock, someone is home to be able to pick their children up, but at 4:15, most parents are not home by that time. So we're taking away also perhaps that's maybe more a higher necessity, but then the numbers don't show that. So it's very difficult.
These numbers are very small sample size. I mean,
Right.
it's just this current year.
Yeah, I mean,
We did
we'll,
last year too.
yeah, we did some last year too, and it was very similar, small.
So
Now,
under 10 kids per bus route per day almost every day.
I would say that
Above
that's,
10 is
I
an
would say that is
exception.
correct. I would say that is the norm. Now, one of the things we're gonna look at, obviously, we just switched to the winter season, So we're gonna look to see, okay, when you have winter sports that are right here and everything else, see if that's gonna change or anything like that, but, you know, so we're gonna track it along.
Winter sports, some end earlier, just because we have to stagger the gym time. So some practices are done by 4, so more kids will maybe jump on the bus, but
And that's usually the younger, the
Yes.
freshman class and the
Correct.
JV.
What about the size of the buses? I mean, there's all different sizes, there was even like smaller van pools. Is that?
Yeah, that's actually hasn't really been talked about as much, I don't, and I guess I don't necessarily know why, but maybe that's something we can look at. I don't know if there's a lot of buses that'd be available like that.
We have
It would be possibly cheaper for a van, but you don't know how many kids are showing up that day.
Yeah.
If you have 20, you're not getting them on a van.
Yeah.
We have to tell them ahead of time.
Right, so my kids have to sign up for the buses sometimes, so that's been kind of like a back and forth thing, like sometimes they have to sign up, but not always, so does that seem to work better? Or
we're
if kids
supposed
forget
to
to
sign up for
up?
the 4:15 bus, and to be honest with you, the accountability has not been great. That we're not going to turn a kid away that's jumping on a 4:15 bus because last minute they decided to stay, or they missed the bus, or they call home and said, hey, can I do this, you know? So it's been tough, and I think eventually we really need to, you're not getting on the bus, and our bus driver, we have the best bus drivers, we really do. And, I mean, our kids are adorable and sweet, and they're not gonna say, get off the bus, I don't have you on the list, you know? So we need to work on that. We
Yeah.
need to come up with a system that's going to work, that makes sense. We're not going to please everybody, there's going to be change, and as long as once we make the decision, it's with enough notice to inform people of what's coming and changes and do what's best for most, I guess.
If we went with a short bus for the 4:15 and the seats were full, sorry,
Right, then that would be, you have to
you didn't
sign
have your
up.
name on the, you didn't have your name on the list, the 6:50,
And then
you can
it's-
wait for the 6 o'clock bus, will be here in,
Right,
No,
and I don't know what the
now-
cost difference is, you're still paying for a driver that has to get here, has to have a vehicle, I don't know, but yes, that could be an option, and then we're shutting it off, and then, yeah, and then it's like, well,
16
my kid
kids.
didn't get off, but Susie got on, and they live next door, and, yeah.
Shelley, Jensen?
Is it possible to look at consolidating so that there's only 2 buses?
So I was gonna say, I should say, so just so everybody knows, so the north bus, now keep in mind, this means, and they don't, I'm assuming most know, they don't drop them off at their houses, they go to the center of town, or, you know, to the post office or whatever. So the north route includes Gardner, Ashburnham, Winchendon, Royalston, Baldwinville. The south route is Sterling, Holden, Princeton, and Hubbardston. The east route is Fitchburg, Ashby, Harvard, and Lunenburg. And the west route is Westminster, South Gardner, Petersham, Barry, Athol, Templeton. So as you can see, you're already driving some long distances, just each bus at a time, so that's the issue, so.
Is there any way of like, rather than everything ending at 6, like maybe ending at 5:30, so you're kind of splitting the time?
We've been starting those conversations as well, yes. It's difficult, because again, gym time, especially as Diana was saying, during the winter, it's hard to kind of get all those practices in there. But, you know, saying to the football team, you know, instead of finishing at 6, maybe you can finish a little bit earlier, and we do a bus in the middle, something like that. One bus in the middle, kind of thing.
And 2 days a week, we have drivers that here, and they have a time requirement, and they get done at 5:45.
Yeah.
So we're looking at all these things as well, great suggestions.
All right, very quickly, I mentioned Reeves Across America at the last month's meeting, but just to remind everybody, on Monday, the folks from Reeves Across America will be coming to Monty Tech. We don't have an exact time, they're supposed to arrive here around 4. When they come in, we'll bring them into the auditorium, we'll do a little ceremony. There is a meal for the members of the convoy and special guests. You are all considered special guests, so if you want to come and join us for that meal and everything else, you're welcome to. And then last but not least, of course, these 2 very suave and debonair men. We want to acknowledge that our colleagues, I don't think Eric's worn a suit probably in quite a while, so you look good there, man. Bob always is you're always fashionable. So, but I think a round of applause for our colleagues in the All right, so now we're gonna move on. Last couple of years, we've had the folks from Continuing Ed come in, just to make sure you guys get an update. They're doing amazing work over there. We appreciate everything they do. Donnie's bringing it up, I'm sure, as we speak. And we have Mary Roth, who is our director for Continuing Ed, and then Autumn, I keep calling Autumn Kelly, but I'm not used to the maiden name, so yes, who's our assistant, and we'll go through it once we make it a little bit bigger.
Yep, give me 1 second.
There we go.
There we go.
Well, thank you all for inviting us in tonight. We really appreciate this opportunity to chat with you and kind of tell you what's been going on in Continuing Ed. The cover that you saw there is the cover of our current catalog. We're in the process of putting the final touches on our spring catalog. We just finished enrollment and people are getting into their classes and their routines, and we're already looking towards spring. But that's how it is. So just to give you an overview of our team, we have three full-time staff members, 46 career instructors, 12 personal enrichment instructors. We have 10 plus student assistants. Much of that is due to the fact that we have no-cost training and we need shop assistants. So it's a bigger number than you've probably seen in the past. And then we have 1 evening security person. And here's a photo of our staff. So there's myself, there's Autumn, Megan, who you'll see in the fishbowl, that glassed-in area. James Doyle is a split person between us and IT. One of the big issues that we've faced in past years is that if something goes wrong with IT, we don't have anybody at night. We were very fortunate to get James to join our team, and he's been particularly helpful in getting our instructors acquainted with technology, troubleshooting issues that they have with their instructional materials, and just all around being there to help out with updating things and keeping us on track. And then, of course, we have Jamie, our evening security officer. Many of you see him when you're coming into the building. He makes his rounds every night, makes sure that we're secure, makes sure that doors are not propped open, that people are where they should be, when they should be. And if he stays here until the LPN program leaves, so if somebody's got issues with car starting or other issues out in the parking lot, he's here to handle that. And we're really fortunate to have him because he comes to us from the Fitchburg Police Department. He was a detective, he was a patrolman, and he's just very, very astute and helpful. So, nights by the numbers. We started doing this a couple of years ago. This kind of gives you a sense of what our enrollment looks like. It also gives you a sense of our service delivery area. So this big wheel that you see here is zip codes, and it shows you the numbers of students coming into the evening program based on their geography. You'll also see that our numbers have been increasing pretty steadily in the fall. That's largely due to the fact that we offer electrical and plumbing. They're very modestly priced. We get a lot of people coming into that program because they want to be self-sufficient. They want to maybe have their own businesses. So those numbers reflect a lot of those folks who are in electrical and plumbing. We do also offer some health occupations. We offer welding, and we have personal interest courses too that are rolled in there. All right, so some updates. Last February or so, the Council of Occupational Education wanted to certify us. They wanted us to be accredited because somebody had looked at our catalog, saw that we offered a bunch of different classes that they felt were under their purview and should be accredited. They were the accrediting agency for the LPN program. Our classes are primarily board certifying classes. So we were granted an exception, which is really important because it prevented us from having to raise our prices and to pay lots of different fees to maintain that accreditation. In-person registration day happened in July. It was an interesting experience. We learned a lot about what not to do. We registered a lot of people. We took in a lot of deposits more popular than we thought it would be, and so we had long lines of people. It looked like a rock concert.
Mary's too kind to say, they had a line wrapped around the front of the building and going down towards the PAC parking lot. That's how popular the program has become.
And remember, so electricians and plumbers who want to be sure that they get their seats in class, because it's really important to them that they continue on without interruption. And that's why that line was so long. We registered how many people?
I want to say we registered over 200 people.
It was something like 271 people. So it was very, very popular. We learned a lot. We're taking it under advisement as to whether we'll do it again, but it was a very busy day. So as I mentioned, we had James Doyle join us as our evening IT support. That's going to help us a lot with providing services. The other thing that we did this summer and early this fall was we conducted 2 student surveys. So we used Google Forms. We sent out what we're calling a satisfaction survey. It was basically, tell us what continuing ed is doing well, tell us where we could improve. By and large, it was very positive. People appreciate the opportunity to be here to take their courses. They appreciate that we're conveniently located and that it's affordable. The employment survey we'll get to in just a second, but that was also, by and large, very positive. Good results. Our students are getting hired. They're working in their fields. We did hire some new staff. We pretty much completely revamped cosmetology. So we now have 2 cosmetology classes happening at the same time. Both of them are pretty full. One of them is completely full. One has 10, and we can only take 12. So we're doing well with that. We did have to hire some electrical staff, and we will be hiring more electrical staff as the electrical board requirements for ratios are changing. That'll go into effect in the fall. And then we completed our 2026 electrical code renewal. That was actually kind of a lot of work, but it was very important. We did it with diligence. We submitted it early, which was really good. The new class ratios are going to impact how many people we have teaching. The new ratios are going to be 25 students to 1 instructor. Right now, there's really not a lot of guidance on that. And then there's a code book change that'll be happening as well. So all of that will impact curriculum and move things along with electrical. All right, so the employment survey. This was actually really interesting. So we have the pie chart there. You'll see the blue. Most of those people are electricians, the ones who responded. There are some plumbers. You'll see that there are many smaller divisions there for the health piece of it. People working in the field, 73% are electricians. So very, very positive. Their salary ranges, these are recorded, so this is self-reporting. $18 to $160K per year. That's what we got. Was there some inflation there? We don't know. But we did get a really good quote from somebody. They indicated it was a great program. They would definitely recommend it, especially since you're able to complete the entire course in 1 school. The structure makes it convenient and manageable, and it really sets you up for success. So people are responding well to the training that they're getting. They're finding it helpful. And I mean, 73 is a great number. 73% is really good. So Autumn handles our no-cost training programs, and she's got some numbers and information for you as well.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So I always like to bring up this chart every year. This is now the 3rd year in a row. We get to see this chart grow, which is really exciting. Round 8, we got some closeout actually at ended October 31st. We submitted all of our paperwork just a week ago. So the numbers I show here are actually graduates. So we actually trained more people than those on this screen. This is just the numbers of people we got to graduation. All of our rounds of training, we actually over-enroll. We promise system is we're gonna utilize it. Our registration system we use now is very quirky, gotta do a lot of interesting things to make it work the way we need it to. But this new system, not only is it gonna make it easier for our students, but also on the office side, you know, it's gonna take the unnecessary manpower we do to work with our quirky system. Now the system's gonna work for us, so we're very excited for that. Always love to share our no-cost training program starting in January. Auto collision repair, that's that Donnelly grant, this is our last group. CNC technician, HVAC, and brand new landscaping, those are all part of CTI round 10. So landscaping is a brand new training program we've never offered before. And then HVAC, we've always been very successful in running. Last year, we had 16 spots, and we had over 32 applicants at the end of our screening process. So we are definitely excited for HVAC. And then CNC, we haven't done in a couple of years, so we're excited to bring that back. I always like to share, if you know anybody in your community that wants to apply for these programs, please send them our way. As well as we have some opening positions, a landscaping instructor that also is curriculum development. We are looking for an evening CNA instructor. We have been getting some applicants. The tough part is they need how many years in a?
1 year in a long-term care center
Yep.
as an RN. And that's where it gets tricky, because lots of people have that 1 year of experience, but not with the RN credential. So it eliminates a lot of the applicant pool.
But our goal is to have someone join the team for the spring sessions, which starts in February. And then electrical, our program has grown so much over the past 3 or 4 years I've been here. When I started, there was only one of each electrical level. We've now grown where we have 2 of every electrical level with the exception of masters. So that's 60 students in every level essentially.
So some things about our future. Some of the things we're looking at are our program capacity, our staffing, because as I've mentioned, the electrical program is going to grow. So that means we're going to need additional classrooms. 2 years ago, we started putting the plumbers in the history and English hallway, and we put the electricians in the math and science hallway. We're going to have to swap them because there are more classrooms available in the history and English hallway. So we know that we can probably do that pretty well. 270 Westminster Street, our clean energy grant participants will be starting to utilize that. We're working out the details on that. And then, of course, parking, which is a recurring problem. When we have athletic events and we have our full complement of plumbers and electricians here, and then you throw in something like coaches night, it gets very challenging around here. So one of the things we did last year when we were scheduling the electrical classes was we spread them out. It used to be that Tuesdays and Thursdays we had plumbing and electrical, everybody was here. So we started to stretch them out between Mondays through Thursday to try to alleviate that. It's helped some, but not maybe enough. So security and emergency plans, we're working on those. And then our branding and packaging of our materials. We did transition last year from MTNITES to spelling it properly because we are actually an academic institution as well. So we made that little change. And it's in a lot of places, so we're still finding places where it's spelled incorrectly, but we're working to be consistent. So, yeah. Thank you all, we really appreciate it.
Mr. Campbell. First of all, nice job, very nice. Somebody I know asked me, when they were driving by Montachusett in the evening, they said, what is going on over there? Why is there so many cars? You got more cars here in the evening than compared to during the day.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably true. Yeah.
Because of the programs you're offering and everything
more popular than Instagram. Other things we do is, I was very lucky, the school supported me doing training through the North Central Chamber called the Community Leadership Institute. I did that 2 years ago, I think now. And I really created a great community through that. It's a great program. I recommend anybody to do it. And so with that, I now have connections with the North Central Chamber. I know, people in the Gardner Chamber. So we also reach out to their mailing groups and say, hey, we have this big event coming up. Would you mind sharing it with the community? And they're always more than happy to. They send an email blast to everybody in the chamber saying, hey, these events are coming up. Share it with your community. And then we have contacts with the different high schools that are part of our sending districts. And even outside of that, we research it every school year. We build our new list of guidance counselors, people who are getting those high school seniors ready to transition into college and making sure they know that there's alternative options other than just doing a traditional for your college. Because like cosmetology, you really don't need to go to a traditional college. You really should be in a tech school. So
So the last part of my question is, I noticed on Indeed, you're still looking for instructors in the evenings for the new program you're running about, that's free for the people that are eligible to take.
Oh, the no cost training.
Right, no cost training. How's that going, and is that fully filled in terms of instructors and students?
Landscaping, we do need an instructor for that. That hasn't started yet, but we're looking for a landscaping instructor. We also make visits to high schools when they have their college and career fairs. So we'll go to those high schools, we'll talk with people, we hand out lots of papers. Sometimes students take them, not for themselves, but for an older brother or sister, for their parents. So we hand out a lot of paper that goes home with folks as well.
Thank you.
You mentioned the spray booth earlier, and that we have a grant for it, and that was the third cohort that's going through now for
yes.
but the spray booth isn't done yet.
Yep, so
We
we
paid for it with that grant, train those kids in the old stuff, and now we get our new spray booth and we're done.
We have a really great relationship with every grant has a case manager. For that one, it's Elena. We have a really great working relationship with her. I meet her at least quarterly, if not monthly. We've been very transparent. We recognize that the booth is not installed. We've made a contingency plan, and I've spoken to the current instructor, who's actually a Montachusett Auto Body alumni, is actually teaching our evening program. And he owns his own appraising business, so they also get the appraising license in their training. He has already agreed and said that when the booth is ready, when we can put it on the schedule and make a meaningful time, we're actually going to set it up. So a lot of those students have fenders or doors that they actually practice on in class that they didn't get to paint. They're going to be able to bring those back should they choose to want to come back. We're not going to force them. If you want to come back and learn, we'll be open. The grant will cover all the costs of the training. They'll get to come in and learn the new spray booth. Other than the summer group, they did get to learn, the spring group of last year got to learn on the old spray booth. So they have learned on a spray booth. The summer group's the only one who didn't touch a spray booth at all because of construction. We're going to make an opportunity for them to come back and learn that spray booth, and the team at Donnelly have loved that idea.
Follow up on that for Tom. When do we expect it to be done?
It's funny when you mentioned it. Just before break, the last thing that I had heard was, to be honest, everything's been done. What we're waiting for is the inspectors to come in and approve it. We love our friends in the Fitchburg Building Department, but don't things have to jump on things sometimes. I'll say it that way. How's that? So we've been waiting for the electrical inspector to come in. And frankly, Brian, did they come in? I didn't even look the last.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So.
And there's a small list, but it doesn't prevent us from opening. There's a small list of things that building construction still needs to do.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
So much.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, get back to work.
All right. Program notes, Mr. Brown?
Oh, sorry, yes. Any questions, comments, anything? Yes, sir.
I had a chance to read through quite a bit of these and have in the past as well. The overwhelming impression is there's a lot of complaining in there. But there were some issues that they noted in some of them where the spray booth was one of them, that it was unfortunate it wasn't ready. There seemed to be some ADA compliance issues possibly.
Well, the one place that there's some concerns about ADA compliance in space is cosmetology. It's a very tight space in there.
And then somebody talked about air quality issues as well. more so this time when I read them, or it just seems to be and some of the notes I made, the 5-year plans, people were talking about, why are we doing 5-year plans, we don't get anything on them anyways.
I can guarantee you that is absolutely wrong.
I
100%.
assumed it, maybe that was me, that's me,
Yes.
I'm more, I'm summarizing in my
What I'll
own
say is this,
verbiage.
and to be
Sorry.
perfectly honest with you, I've had to read
That's
these.
my interpretation of what they said.
I've had to read these, since I got here and everything else. To be honest, this is one of the better groups.
Okay.
The complaints and concerns that I saw, frankly, were a lot smaller than others. I also think that we love our folks on our advisory committee. They don't necessarily know how a school works. And they walk in and they say, well, why can't you just go get this? Well, because, there's only a budget for so much and everything else. So we work with them. But in general, I think, I think we did okay. Brian and I took a look at them. They're both of us were like, yeah, it's actually not that bad.
Okay.
There's never enough room, there's never enough.
Yeah.
Yes, they all want another instructor. Everybody wants another instructor.
I'm still looking for a pedicure station for my office.
Well, every year, whoever the shop is that got the grant is very happy.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
They're like, wow, this is great, and everyone
And the
else
funny
like,
thing is the shop that's complaining is the one who got all their stuff the year before. So they made up that, they had to wait another year, that's the way it works.
everybody in culinary was happy.
I promise.
Yeah, I know, because I actually read through them and I couldn't believe it, but overall, I would say they were a whole lot better than what has been in the past.
I would agree.
But I think that maybe a couple of things need to be passed down either to the instructors to present there, and that is the fact that the school can't build anything bigger. We're limited with what we have, and I think they need to understand that, because there were a couple where they said their place is too small, and how are we gonna be, we need to be able to bring more students in. Well, yeah, you're talking to the, preaching to the choir, but, so there's a couple of things like that to remind the advisory people, we'd love to do all of this, but we are limited with budgets, and we don't go to the towns for extra money, like other schools may do that, and we can't add to the building. So I think that might change the attitude a little bit. They may understand a little bit more. I don't know if maybe generating a letter to the people, I don't know. But overall, I was pretty impressed with, and it was good information that was in there. And there was a lot of information and answers to the questions, and so I was impressed with them.
Anything else? All right. Mrs. Carlson.
All right, so on November 3rd, we had the National Honor Society who inducted 71 students. This is our largest to date, the amount of students that are inducted. And as you know, with the National Honor Society, the students are invited, once they're eligible, they're invited to apply to enter the National Society, and with that, they obviously have to show character, leadership, and also community service, which is something that we tell the kids from the, some are like, I babysit my younger siblings. I'm like, well, that means you're a great older sibling. But really to just give back, whether it's within our school or communities, and we know, and certainly I think that through skills and ROTC, our kids do so much of that. And it's evident when we continue to see the number of students and enrollment in ours here. There is a list, my apologies that towns were not on there, but this was due before Thanksgiving, and I will look up every town. But again, you have the name of all the students that are currently in our National Honor Society. I know on November 10th, every year we do a Veterans Day Assembly, and that same evening is what we have in Marine Corps birthday celebration ball. Again, a wonderful event during the day to be able to really celebrate. One of the things that First Sergeants did last year, we were able to celebrate all of our veteran staff members. And this year, what we wanted to do is we sent an email to all the students asking them to submit photos of their loved ones who have served or this right here is actually a collage that was all with small pictures. You'll see a picture here of our students' families and friends. It was really, 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 really touching. Again, I cannot say enough, as you know, about the ROTC program later that evening during the ball. The amount of volunteers that come and that show up really to make this such a special evening. We also, the guest of honor that evening was Darren an online conference set up, it's called Pickathon, we send it out to parents, and then they basically book 10-minute appointments with the teachers that they want to meet with. I think that since we started with our PARS, we've been really, really pushing parents to really sign up to our online portal, because that is just the best way to keep up with their students' grades. And you see that. We have over 80% of our parents actually have access to the portal. We try, and we say that is the best way, you'll get the most accurate information. I mean, they can log in, your kiddo's not doing the homework, and, well, I don't have it, I'm doing fine. You can look in that portal and know, hey, kiddo, why do you have a 60 then if you don't have your homework, right? So I think the numbers were a little bit lower this year with the parent-teacher conferences, but I really think that they just have access to so much information. And parents and teachers also will email here and there. But again, we provide an opportunity for all. We tend to see the underclassmen parents come because, again, they're new to the school, they're new to the expectations, and they really want to make a connection and really hear how their kids are doing here as well. One of the things that we did, yes.
Going back to the parents and teacher conference,
Yeah.
you go the 2 days, half a day from Monday or Tuesday, whatever,
We
Wednesday.
do a 12 to
whatever.
1:30 session, and then we do a 4:30 to 7:30.
Okay. Now, not to name any teachers here and there, but as a conversation, I just asked her, how did the parents teacher go? And he goes, I had one, I had two.
Who's
I'm just saying in general, I'm just saying, is that really feasible? Is it really working? That's my question. Is it really working? I mean, as a former teacher, there are nights where I have parents' night.
Sure.
The kids that I really want to see their parents don't show.
That happens
All right?
very often.
I realize that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, is it feasible to have those 2 days, that long period where not too many teachers, not too many parents are contacting them?
Well, so here's the thing. So we
All right.
have some academic teachers that are fully booked. They didn't even have, we literally block off for them to use the bathroom during their entire time. And then we may have mostly vocational teachers that may have 2 parents during that band. So that does happen. I always, in my calls home, we say if your student is not doing well, I strongly encourage you to come and meet. But yes, I mean, it happened when I was teaching 20 years ago as well. The parents that I really want to see are not the ones, and here's what I say to our teachers. The student is not doing well, and those are the parents you want to see. I feel as educators, it is our responsibility to reach out to those parents to say, hey, I'm concerned about your child, let's talk. So there is still communication beyond this, right? It can't be that one never happened, but that does happen.
No, I realize
Yeah.
it's a good gesture of
Sure.
doing that, and it does give an option,
Sure.
but,
Sure.
I'm just curious in terms of
Yeah.
time, where would it be more feasible for teachers to make individual appointments to the parents that are concerned? Could you open up in general,
Yeah,
I
and
remember,
then-
I've had some nights I mean, parents are good, and I taught
And
academics,
teachers
and I
can
just
use
saw
that for
1,
prep
2,
time, and, and that happens. I don't think
Yeah.
there'll ever be a way to make sure that everyone is
at least it's
organized.
available, I
Yeah,
understand.
absolutely. And on November 18th too, we had, Melissa Lord was really the big organizer with this, along with Katie as well, but we had a holiday fair, which was really fantastic during that day too. So the place was booming because we had a lot of outside people coming here, and our cafeteria was stocked, and we were able to raise some fantastic money too, that will certainly later go towards student scholarships and tools and funds as well. So the Thanksgiving basket deliveries, as you know, it's year 2. We were able to deliver 51 baskets, Thanksgiving baskets. So the organizers for that were Kathy Hansen, our school social worker, Alicia Quinn, school counselor, Jason Diego, cafeteria manager, our first sergeants, and Melissa Lord. So with that was an entire Thanksgiving meal that was delivered to all the families, and we always have staff that will go down to the Rock room to help really pack. We always do like the laundry baskets and put everything in there. It's a nice way to carry everything. And certainly staff members volunteer to go and deliver these baskets to our family. And prior also to the delivery, we make sure we contact them and say, hey, on this day we plan on delivering baskets. Will someone be home? And so again, it's a feel good. One of my favorite days. I know I have a lot of favorite days here, but again, a fantastic time that we see everybody coming together and what we do for our communities. And the comments and the faces when we show up to these homes and how appreciative they are, just really, really fills your heart. And we'll be doing the same thing, obviously, for Christmas as well. Skills USA Fall Leadership Conference was on November 23rd and 24th. We have 3 amazing advisors, Christine Stanfield, Alicia Quinn, and Brett Pelletier. They took 12 of our students to the Skills USA Fall Leadership Conference. And here you have a fantastic picture of all of our kiddos strong, and having a little relaxing time. Yeah, that's it.
Any questions? The student rep report is included. She's not here tonight, so peruse it at your own comfort.
It's on there.
What's that?
It's in here. It is in here.
Yes, that's what I
Okay.
said. Right. Okay.
Okay, and then you just have the enrollment
Enrollment,
reports
any
there.
questions on
Any
enrollment?
questions? I hope you all have a fantastic holiday. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right, personnel, Mr. Brown?
Let's see, no retirements, did have a couple resignations. One of them being Katie Heckler, who's the groomer for us out at Vet Tech. Happily, we thought we'd be struggling to find, we do have some good qualified candidates, so we'll start some interview process for that. And then Ms. Bedard, one of our cafeteria workers, was just with us with the free time, has moved on. And then we did bring on board a new adjunct faculty for prep builders.
All right. Subcommittees. Policy, Swenson.
Okay, first policy, whoops. Move that the district committee approve for a second reading policy EBAB, integrated pest management.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions, comments? If not, Mr. Barber.
In what Diane just read, in parentheses, right after integrated pest management.
Oh, that should be IPM.
Okay,
Yeah. I didn't, no, I've read that 3 times. I'm sorry.
okay,
Yeah, you're right.
that's okay.
Well, that's because we call the little creatures imps.
And then comments? We have a motion. We did have a motion in the second.
Right.
You want to call the vote, Julie?
While you're doing that, the policy notes from our last meeting in November is attached to this particular topic. Or,
Do you mind coming to workforce to take the minutes for us, so I don't keep getting yelled at?
huh? My policy minutes are done the day
I know,
after I
that's why
leave.
I said.
I just asked for some info, that's.
What? Oh.
Oh, you need to vote?
I do.
Oh, yes, yes.
All right.
All right, the next one. Move that the district committee approve for second reading JHB truancy, JKD/JKEE, student suspension/expulsion, JE student attendance, JO employment of students, and JP student gifts and solicitations.
We have a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Malika.
Yeah, just one simple note, I don't think the first sentence reads quite right. Maybe if needs to stay in there.
The where? I didn't hear that, John.
I'm sorry. The first sentence doesn't read to me correctly. And I wonder if we
Which-
should leave the word if in that.
Which policy?
Are we on truancy?
Any one of them.
JHB.
Student
If and
assistance.
when should not be eliminated, right?
Well, it says students will be considered truant is absent.
Well, yeah, if is crossed out, and it's when the student is absent. Is
So
that,
Are you eliminating if and when?
no, we're just eliminating if. So it would be, a student will be considered truant when the student is absent from school or class, et cetera.
Yeah, I apologize. For some reason I saw a strike through on one.
Oh, yeah, it kind of goes over to the space, and it shouldn't.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
okay. Is it all right then?
Yeah, looks good too.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, anything else? Seeing none, you want to call the vote?
Thank you. Next one. Move that the district committee approve for first reading policy IMG-animals in schools. In school, it should be school.
Second.
Motion is seconded, any discussion? Seeing none, call the vote, please.
Guess that sound.
John?
Sean? I'm sorry.
You all set, Julie?
Yes. Motion unanimous.
Thank you. Okay, last one. Move that the district committee approve for a first reading policy EB, health and safety, EEAE, school bus safety program, EEA, student transportation services, and EEAEA. I feel like McDonald, old McDonald, driver examination and training.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded, any discussion? Seeing none, call the vote.
And just one comment, there's no policy meeting for December. I think we've done enough for this part of the year. We'll start again fresh in January.
You do have policy
I
five.
see policy
You have
five.
you have
I did have one more?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, forgot this one.
You all set?
Move that the district committee approve for first reading policy JJIF, athletic concussion, JLCB, immunization of students, JJE, student fundraising activities, JLCD, administering medications to students, JLCC, communicable diseases, and there is a new policy, JICA, student dress code. I want to just add on the new policy, the student handbook covers dress codes, etc. But in discussions with our policy committee and also with other schools, they feel that they want to have the policy that we do acknowledge a dress code. It's very simple, and we refer it to the student handbook so it can be changed and improved annually. So that's the main reason for adding that one.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any questions? Call the vote, please, Julie. All right. Let's see, capital improvements, Mr. Carignan isn't here. Workforce, Mr. Olson?
We have been meeting, and we will have an executive session at the end of this to discuss where we're at.
All right. Student advisory, Mr. Barber?
We have met.
Yeah.
It was kind of an abbreviated meeting, but a lot of stuff discussed. Probably the biggest, they're all important, but probably the biggest part was, Mr. Brown already kind of went over it a little bit, was a weight
add a afternoon security person. We haven't had one for a while. We'd have to look at bringing that person on at some point.
And that may, like, if you go to a single lane bus too, that may
Correct.
kind of force that as well. That kind of falls along with, dovetails with what you were talking about earlier. Cell phones, there were concerns or wondering what's our policy going to be next year. There was significant discussion about that. And then also mentioning like the concerns like with their Chromebooks, there's certain areas that they don't have access to Wi-Fi, which I don't know why that's an issue, but maybe it is. Talk about having a man on the street type of interviews, like in the hallways, so we're asking, what's going on, what's good, what's bad, types of things. I don't know if that's happened at all yet. Having a student advisory representation on the Bulldog Roundtable. Bulldog Roundtable.
Bulldog Roundtable, actually, today was Bulldog Roundtable, so Diana and Katie, you want to say what it is? Because you've been a part of it. Yeah.
It's the first Thursday.
Say again?
It's tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow, you're right, I'm sorry. What Katie and Diana do is they basically invite students, it's scheduled ahead of time, they have the dates, you'll see some postings in the hallways. And basically, kids can come, and it's an open forum, an opportunity for kids to say, hey, I'm concerned about X, Y, Z. I think Katie and Diana bring snacks, which always, attracts people, so yes. But it's a nice direct opportunity for students, who might have some of the concerns that you're talking about, that they can talk directly to the principal, the assistant principal.
Do you know if there's a representative from the student advisory going to be at the Bulldog Roundtable?
I don't know if it's, as I understand it, it's really it's not a student advisory, the student advisory person could go. They could just go to the meeting and sit there. I think it's more of just an opportunity, being open to talk to the administration.
Another thing that was mentioned was the mental health Mondays. Apparently that's kind of fallen apart, which led to a discussion, dovetailed into a discussion about like student awareness of activities that are going on, morning announcements. A lot of kids maybe during morning announcements aren't paying attention. It's a big surprise to me. Mentioned that some rooms that there's not a working video to get the announcements on.
Mr. Barber, Gina had a question, I think.
I just wanted to add to what you were saying.
Okay.
So one of the things that the students had mentioned was that the teachers don't turn on the TVs in the morning. So the announcements that are happening don't always come through, especially at vet. They're not connected at all.
In the shops?
No, well, vet science is like a separate building.
They do play the way they come, so they should be able to hear, but it's even easier, they can hear if it's on the TV.
Yeah, if it's both, yeah, they mentioned that.
That could be a problem.
TVs are broken, and they were just trying to find other ways to get information to the whole student body.
Yeah, so, Donnie, correct me wrong, but they go through MT Live too, right?
Yes.
Announcements? So, we have a YouTube channel that even if the TV isn't working, they can get it right through the computer as well. So, I'll work with Diana to put something out to the teachers saying, hey guys, if you don't have it on, if your TV's not working, one, let Donnie know so we can fix it. But two, there's other means to get the announcements at the same time. So.
And can I just add one more thing? So
You're going to be called on next too.
Oh, good, great.
So another thought was salt and pepper in the cafeteria.
So the students want salt and pepper in the cafeteria. It was very easy for me to get that answer. So I went and spoke with the people in the cafeteria. So in 2015, Michelle Obama's whole plan for making healthy lunches takes
They can bring their own salt
They can bring their
shaker.
own salt and pepper shakers, basically.
Bring their own salt?
Is
Big
the answer.
YOS.
And I'm sorry that it took so long for you to get that answer, but
That's true.
that is what it
Yeah.
is. So if the students
I
are
remember that now.
asking, it's the Healthy Student Act, the Healthy
That is
Student
one-
Care Act.
That's one item that we're probably gonna scratch off the list,
Yeah.
because the list kind of runs along until something resolves. I think we've got the resolution on that. Pretty early.
Provide soy sauce.
I was gonna say,
Soy sauce.
find another condiment, I guess.
There are, I mean, there's like a dozen, right?
Oh, there's a lot of
There's
condiment,
all kinds.
we have tons of condiments in
Barbecue
there,
sauce.
little individual packages, sure.
All set.
Can I say one more thing about that?
Yes, you can.
The students really liked, if anybody saw on Facebook, there was a camera and a microphone at the Four Corners with like a prompt question on a Friday. And the students said that they really, really enjoyed that and they would like to see that more often.
Yeah, we'll be doing it again.
I'm embarrassed to tell you how long I watched that video before I was like, oh, this is Montachusett.
Looks familiar.
It's because we come in the door down there every single time, you never go through
I
Four
don't,
Corners.
I only go in over there. It's fine.
You walk right through the Four Corners.
Yeah, all the time. Okay. I was like, oh, this is a cool idea, it's cool.
I'll make sure Diana hears most of those.
Dr. Trigny, you got anything with the student gift?
We have a meeting scheduled, hasn't been published yet, for January,
Okay.
6 o'clock,
All right.
prior to that school committee meeting. We do have $350.
Yes, same amount as last time.
Yeah. And we'll be looking for donations. Very important that we show some interest with the community. And I think this is a mechanism by which we can make positive efforts with families and students. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Burks, Finance?
Yes, we have not met recently. Our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, January 21 at 6:30.
All right.
Cross that Wednesday.
Financial statements, any questions for Tammy? Mr.
I had a question,
Prasad.
sorry. I noticed Stephanie Archie, is that how you say it? Art gets paid mileage and pupil transport?
Yes,
Is that
she transports, we reimburse her mileage, the student she transports is homeless.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? If not, we'll go on to financial acceptance of iCard grant. We have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move the district committee accept the grant for $5,000 from ICAR for the auto collision and repair program to purchase tools.
We have a second. Motion and a second, any discussion? Seeing none, call the question. Okay, surplus equipment, we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move the district committee consider the attached list of equipment as surplus to be auctioned.
Second.
Motion and second. Mr. Malika?
Yeah, two things. What does it mean to consider? What do we do? Just, are we approving it or are we
That
just
should be
checking it out?
should be
Fine
Once
question,
it's
I'm not sure
considered-
why we chose the word consider either. Is that what we usually have for auction stuff?
It's sort of relative to this. The list doesn't have when or where the auction's going to take place. So if I'm just considering it, I guess I don't care. But if I'm moving to approve it, then I do care.
Tammy,
think
yeah,
it's-
Not gov deals.
right, do we know when that's going up?
Mike will put it up after the school committee approves surplus.
Good choice. Announced.
If the maker of the motion will accept it, it doesn't have to have an amendment.
Who wrote that?
Yeah, but you made the motion.
All right, you made the motion and
Doesn't matter.
Picked it out of the hat.
Fine with me.
If you agree to make the change, then we can automatically make the change without doing amendment type of stuff.
And I agree with the.
There you go.
Okay? Right, that's okay.
We agreed that it is surplus.
we good now?
I think
Yep.
so.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Anything else?
I don't think it's necessary to change the language in the vote on the computer. Oh, good, wow.
Okay, you want to call the question?
You don't think it's necessary?
Well, I thought it would be painful, obviously, Tammy, I mean,
I declare.
We can consider it.
I know, it's exciting.
being declared for a singular.
Motion's unanimous, sir.
All set, okay. So we'll go on to teacher information or proposals. Don't see anyone here. Chairman's report, well, I sent out a memo to some of the subcommittee chairs. You are considered public bodies. We do have to have minutes of your meetings. So if you could get with Julie and let her know, I don't know how many meetings we're talking about, or you could do with each individual subcommittee. If you have any trouble creating them, let me know, I'll help you with it. The MASC conference was, I think, the best conference I've been to in years. Sessions were very informative, different topics, and you know, it was a good experience. One other thing, just that you should remember, as a member here, you are your town or city's representative. So you should be in contact with your local government, should they have any questions or concerns. And at the MASC conference, I had the chance to speak with the mayor of Fitchburg, and she passed along some accolades for Mr. Hurley, who says that she said he does an outstanding job of keeping her and the city government informed about what's going on here. Kudos to you, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
School committee information of proposals. Why don't we, if anyone doesn't have any objections, let's go to the executive session. When we come back out, we'll go around the table and do some comments. All right, Mr. Olson?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that the district committee enter executive session pursuant to Master General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, subsections 2 and 3, to discuss collective bargaining strategy with the Montachusett Regional Teachers Association, MRPA, paraprofessionals, and cafeteria workers.